I don't even know what to say after that series. I am bewildered. I'm stunned. I'm dumbfounded. That was 5 rounds of OT in our first map of this series in our first day of open qualifiers. What is happening, Riv?
Everybody is playing their hearts out, and that's what I love to see. It's like today's game is the only game, and that's the way they go into every single one of them. I love it. Yeah. And this is the second one of the day, so we're just seeing some players cooking off of some good plays. And honestly, if we had to pick like a best flick of the day, it would be very hard because everybody is out of their mind right now.
Yeah, and we still have a second map potentially coming through, but this game went on so long that you even saw Riv grow a beard. That's crazy how it went back and forth this series, and both of these teams, we talked about it, how this is supposed to be attacker-sided. This is supposed to be one of those games where if they don't get 7-5 on the first half there for SNG, it was GG pretty much. And again, just like Jazzigan's heard me of me criticizing her fragging capability, now IGLing, SNG did the same thing right there. And hearing me saying, oh, you don't think we can do well here on the defense? Well, now both teams were killing it on defense until finally we got into that 5th OT, and COL finally sealed the deal.
You know the series went on forever because you're forgetting some of Jazzigan's op flicks right at the beginning of the map.
Oh,
I don't blame you.
Never forgot that. Never forgot that. That was
like 34 rounds ago. It was forever ago, but wow, that was just such an incredible series. And you have to be giving like big props to SuperNova too, because there are so many times looking in this that they looked like they were down Complexity. They managed to find that first pick. They got that first blood. And then SuperNova, the way they collapsed onto Complexity in some of these retakes, I mean, Riv, there is just some points they completely shut them out. That was not what I was expecting heading into Lotus.
And it happened at the same time. I talked about that one round where those kind of retakes are based a lot off trust, that your teammate is with you, the play is being made, and everything is happening on the point that somebody calls it. And everyone on Complexity like died at the same time on those retakes, which is what made it so powerful. You're wondering how SuperNova did this each time, continued to repeat. So it's definitely something you have to look at for this team, is how their retakes are so powerful.
And not only that, as you're mentioning too, we're talking about it at the beginning of the game or the beginning of the series, where this is a brand new team. Right? They came in with like 2 players from the last time that they played against Complexity. 3 new players are coming in, and they look coordinated as hell. Like they've been playing together as a team for these retakes for the past 16 game changers since 2020.
Yeah, there was an element of, they were so together, but there was like an element of chaos to it as well, that once you looked at it and tried to unravel it, it was almost impossible. There were some rounds that were over before I could even realize what was happening, and it kind of seemed like Complexity's downfall too, because how are you supposed to dissect and learn from everybody who speaks at the same time and wins their fights? It was incredible, and lending to the chaos too going in our first map. I mean, we talked about the Raze showdown to be starting things off, and neither Raze fans disappointed in this set. Some of the kills they were getting this util, it was off the chain.
Agreed, and as we mentioned before, it was different type of playstyles between Faye and Jazzikins on how they were playing. Like, look at Faye, how aggressive, in your face she was playing here on this retake against Complexity. Jazzikins, great off potential here in the right moments, catching some players off guard on the defense. But overall, the most important things about these two races is not only were they performing so well for both teams, look at the amount of assists that these players had. It was, what, sub-digits in 5 OTs that were played. That means that they were finishing their shots, and they didn't stop a beat. They didn't skip a beat, going in how they wanted to play their duels.
It's just, every single time, both of the races were stepping up exactly where they were needed. And I feel like, too, we got to really see so much of that once we got to the later portion of things, Riv, because these later rounds was just so chaotic from both of the teams, because they both started getting so aggressive and in your face against each other.
Yeah, Faye was even grabbing an op at some point that you were seeing. That was being rotated around, and they were the one round that they had clutched, I think by Marina, picked up the op again to drop it over to Faye, and you can see right there Jazzy and Faye just absolute head-to-head back and forth, 33-35, and yeah, you love to see that. We knew it was going to happen in our first Lotus match of the day, and we got even more of it here in our second Lotus match.
in spades too, with the what was it, 5 rounds of overtime that we got delivered on that very first one. So I'm excited to see both of these duelists step it up, because of course we still have another map or two heading on in this series. Just so exciting. I feel like the first map was long enough that a whole series could have transpired, but we're getting more of this fantastic
got 2 maps
action.
in one.
We already got 2 maps in one, but let's have a little bit more, because I'm excited for the chaos that could be going on, because we are headed to Breeze next. It was Complexity's pick over for Lotus, and SuperNova pushed them that far. So now they're on their pick of Breeze. And of course, Breeze has had a lot of changes here, Vans. It's just re-entering. So this could be really interesting to see what they have cooked up.
Yeah, we talked about middle when we first started things off and discussing Breeze, but there's just so much that happened within the sites themselves of how you played the entrances, how you place the entrances towards the A side, how the boxes on the B side are a lot more different. So there's a lot more angles to clear, but there's a lot more importance to really try to take that mid control to really get some good splits, especially towards the A side takes. But with how these two teams have been playing so far, Riv, with how good they are in rifling and opping, and to seeing how Sneaky Shark was currently playing, I'm still quite afraid of Complexity, for Complexity rather, going in this series, because you know we've mentioned this was a map veto that seemed to favor SuperNova Galaxy because of the past history against Complexity.
And looking at how much they can spread this map out and actually have all 5 of their members approach a retake plays into their favor, right? You're not forced to be in a fight as a team takes it. You can hang back in mid. You can come from the backside of A, which still gives you a breadth of area to be able to execute from once you retake the site off of possibly a Viper wall. But yeah, I'm excited to see what they bring in. Seeing the Gecko again in China, I actually love that a lot, because having Wingman Plant allows you to keep more of a triangle defense over by Shrimp and Crab. So the compositions are going to be neat to see now on New Breeze.
Which one's Shrimp? Which one's Crab? Quick!
Crab's by the wall. Crab's the one closest to the wall.
All right, we'll test you. We'll see once we get into it. But considering what we've gotten to see other regions play, and considering the changes that we have seen on Breeze, then what are we kind of expecting to see coming out from these teams? Considering now Complexity, we know their history. SuperNova, we got to see that glimpse of their brilliance there. Anything in particular you're leaning towards? Yeah,
if I'm thinking about Complexity, especially when we touched a little bit about the off-season, quote-unquote, that they've been playing, they were trying a lot of compositions around double controllers in a same style as like Loud was integrating that into their strategies rather in their past games. So to bring out a double controller for Complexity wouldn't be something surprising for me on a map like Breeze, because it's so easy, just like Icebox back then, to place a Viper wall up and split the site for a hit, but it's too obvious. Having that second controller to really play mind games and that conditioning is going to be pivotal, actually, for a team trying to work the A side on the, trying to work Breeze on the attack overall.
Well, we're not going to wait long to see what agents we're going to get, as our agent select is ready. It's time to see if this game 2 of the series is going to be just as great as the first one. Let's get into it.
Thank you so much, Sierra, and there you go. Double controller coming out for SuperNova Galaxy, but a little bit different. I thought it was going to be coming out for Complexity, but they're bringing a Yoru out instead with Double Initiator. Your take on this now, Riv?
I just like the way they're patterned in their colors, like green to blue. Look at that fade. No,
that's exactly what I wanted to hear.
Incredible. Jazzy wants to melt the brains of SuperNova Galaxy. Double wall composition, though, becomes really tough to play around because you don't know what angle SuperNova Galaxy is going to be creating, if they'll be between those walls in the no man's land. Can you retake that space? So I think SuperNova is going to have all the time in the world to play with their defensive retakes on that. They just have to be careful of this trickster squad of Jazzykins and the rest, because you're going to be either sought out by KO, or the knowledge that you're not there is going to, you know, let them infer something else, and then they're going to be coming at you. Yoru does not just play defense.
No, agreed. And we've seen some Yoru play some great initiator style rather, like Ethan. And one thing you were talking about, watching these VODs from China bringing out the Yoru, it's been done as well, but it's been very telegraphed, right? There's really certain areas of TPs that they put behind the Viper wall, trying to hit the right side of the site of A, just behind the Viper wall. And that could be just easily read. So I'm hoping to see that that's evolved a little bit more, especially with the coaching system that you have around complexity, but still bringing a double controller in a different style is going to be very, very intriguing and nice to see. And one other thing to point out, though, SNG are also there bringing out a duelist being a Reyna instead of a Neon or something. So let's keep an eye out on that as we're 10 seconds away from the Bears to come up. Again, Complexity in the lead by 1 map here against SuperNova Galaxy on their map pick, looking to push us to split.
So we'll always, I think, have to see this mid pressure we have right here, Vans. I mean, it could shark right away, too. The wall goes up. This means that A can push through main once they come out of mid.
Oof. And they're coming out of mid right away. First blood out for SuperNova Galaxy. 2 in a row. Make that even 4. TP was a fake TP back towards the A site. Claudia stuck solo. Too many players to work against, and that mid control on the attack was as strong as it was on a defense. And they're not shrugging away the OT loss that they got against Complexity. They're coming out strong.
That was a mid-round retake. I don't know if I've actually seen a play like that.
Yeah.
It was like everybody folded into one through middle double door in a zipper formation, and SNG came out, numbers up. What a take. Finding them at Crab and down. Great first round. And solid from Complexity. 3-2 split. So what you're probably going to see mostly going towards A when you want to hit it. Well, let's see what they have towards B now. Elbow is going to be pressured quite a bit due to this new mid. We already see it being taken over by SNG. With all that protection on your left side now, it's not as bad to creep out this mid and get yourself into position to fight right away on that elbow area.
Yeah, and this is a second round now that Complexity seems to be wanting to save the Viper wall for the actual execution. The first time splitting towards mid, second time now looking to hit towards B main here. TP about to come up first. There's the flash, maybe to go through. Committed now is Jazzy. Right click! Gets the kill. Meanwhile, though, things are looking pretty good for Classics for the rest of Complexity. Yes, it's still a 2-on-2. Allure buy was coming through out of Complexity, still trying to get value out of this Marshall. Jaskin picking up the Bulldog and getting another kill into Marina, leaving Kazler solo, 2 versus 1. A clutch is needed. Just trying to clear out the site, looking for that Vandal too. Shock Dart now, low HP's Jazzikins does not connect. Second Shock Dart, still alive. Now a tap on the spike, the mind games ensues. Kazler playing the off angle. Jazzikins just waiting the whole time and jumps up on the right moment. And Complexity gets the thrifty.
This isn't over.
Those boxes become such a nuisance for anybody inside. I feel like it definitely favors the 1v1, the person that's on the outside now. When you're in B, allowing people to defend more, and we'll see more of it. But that round was really cool. Look at the map. It's sectioned into quadrants right now. Those the X. So you're either fighting in one of these little pie sections or not. I love what they did with the walls on that to get the fights that they wanted on the side of SNG. In the end, though, Jazzikins does come up with the clutch as per usual. And now it's going to be that thrifty again. That's the second time Complexity's able to done that.
Yeah.
Cover going out.
A little bit of push here as we're going to get this play back towards A. No real movement through mid on this one, so it's going to be pretty telegraphed. They're all coming out of the cave now.
Once again, SuperNova Galaxy have good mid control. All 5 players already grouped up pretty much towards the doors of the A site. Complexity looking to fight back. When we talk about power and numbers, Crossfire this time not as good as it was in the last map. Complexity are able to hold this strong on the pulse plant. 2 players left alive now for Faye and Marina over at SNG as Faye falls by the hands of Claudia. Last one being wallbanged through the boxes. Guarantee the round coming out for Complexity.
Got him.
And with little casualty, they take the lead by 1.
Woo. So, looking at how that played out, Complexity doing a great job to shoot Kazler's ping, but I wonder what would have happened for SNG if they had Vandals on that, right? Their ability to kind of create their own angles, but also have this Sova to shoot through the Viper wall that Raze is going to put up for Complexity could really shut down situations like that. Complexity playing it fast and smooth, though, knowing they had the timing, and none of that would be a problem on a small buy for SNG. Oh, we have the operator now for Lace.
And an op on the attack, too, for Faye. So the angle was held very tightly there, so we couldn't react fast enough for Lace to try to get that pick. But at least now it's identified for both sides that Complexity and SuperNova are currently using an operator. So how do you work the map this time around?
Interesting wall it be. Definitely playing a little bit more of the retake style. Allow him in the front, but don't give him the rest of it. Oh, pretty dangerous now.
Kara swinging around behind the pillar. Raze gets the second kill. We have a lurk towards mid. It's a beautiful leer to allow Faye to get the pick off there with the operator. Seeker's going to spot the last 3 players. Looking back towards the spawn! And a drive-by from Kazler. Lace falls, so that's an opera down. Forcing now a Hunter's Fury out on the defense from Kazler. Pings one into Claudia. Around the corner. It's saved by Raze! So Flash still up. Marina gets 2 kills. It's up to Kara now. Somehow these trades are perfect for both of the teams. Underhand Flash. Tap on a spike. But the Cove is still shielded. Kara has to run in. It's not on the spike. And at least there for SNG, they had both players working together. A trade after trade, and we tie up the game 2-2.
Huge frags by Marina coming in on that. Like, being able to collect those with the wall that she put up. High Tide again separating the map the way that SNG wants it to be separated on the defensive play. We saw that early wall by Princess Icy not be able to be used after getting taken down. And this play towards mid. Faye on Raze, Faye on Reyna. The operator will still be there, and so will the potential. And this just goes back and forth. You didn't expect SNG to come back after losing that second, getting thriftied again, but it's a never give up kind of situation. And this operator is still for Faye as they push out mid on the back of a drone. It's the clone.
Never give up. Never what?
Huh, surrender.
No, that's not it, Riv. You're missing out. You didn't survive the.
Damn it.
You didn't survive the shift. Chat knows. Chat knows.
Chat. Say it.
And for Complexity, they're staying a hit towards the A side. Already, though, our recon bolts will give the indication that Complexity are focused now towards the A side and somehow through the smoke. Marina falls. Flash through. Jazzigan's trying to find space, and it's good enough to retreat so that Complexity can play the numbers.
Early flash out. This actually plays well in favor of Call. Ooh.
Oh, nice shock darts, though. Jazzigan falls. Lear coming out, forcing Lace out of her position. Gets wall banged down by Scary Shark. Traded out instantly. 1 player advantage. Both of them now have to swing out. Perfect for the drop onto Claudia.
Oh my gosh.
And we turn things around once again. SuperNova Galaxy going back into a retake play. Tap on the spike. No time left. Well done here for Kara. As they get the Red Bull clutch. And will allow here Complexity to take the lead. And just before here, Riv, I also didn't survive the shift.
Right
Oh,
there.
no.
Damn it. It's supposed to be never back down, never what. And then give up. It's like me doing math on stream, you know? It's never going to work. Chat, you know the intention was there, right? You know the intention was there.
It's never gonna what? Work? A Red Bull clutch coming up. And that's exactly what Complexity needed on that one. Just toying with them in the end. Their car was able to pick up the last one. And deter them, I should say, from defusing. Push towards A main, maybe once again. Oh no, this Cascade. I think that's the common play we see with Harbor. Cascade towards A, you can do it again and keep the push out. And then that becomes your flank.
Okay, this
Slowly
is quick,
moving across the map. They're going to try to retake on B.
Yeah. Knowing that the play the flood into the site with the lower buy that we have here for SuperNova Galaxy. And the advantage of having that Yoru just TPing across the snake whites on the ground. A late lurk activated by Raze. And this is kind of given early, though.
Okay.
Raze giving a tell that there's potential late lurks coming out here for Complexity. Nonetheless, though, still a player advantage. Make that even 2 for Complexity. Spike now being heavily covered by 3 players just on the inside. If Marina could keep them all in there, it'd be a nice little dub. But the dub goes instead for Complexity.
4-2. Ult's coming up here. I think they could break this round with a quick ult from Jazzykins. They were expecting that. You can see Complexity knew that SNG was going to be already around them and pushing out from other sides of the map. I think that's going to a lot what New Breeze is going to be around is being behind your enemy in this mid play. Timeout now for SNG. I don't know. Post plants aren't working as well as they were previously here for SNG.
Yeah. At least good for Complexity here, and that's somewhat of the difference too when you're looking at the layout of this map and how it's being played. You have a better opportunity to play these post plants from where you're currently placing the spike, but at the same time the site's very open. So with the flash the corner and flood back into the sites, or trying to get more entries into the retakes for SNG, it's not going to be the same case here for on Breeze. As soon as you get through the line of scrimmages towards these sites for the retake.
No, it's true. Being able to dump a raise nade in the back and displace your opponents is actually huge. Not that you see too many of that here, but they don't have that anymore. It's something I think SNG used a lot to retake. Having Faye on that still alive during most of those. Now it's just, like you said, a flash, a few of them. And you still have to source your information. It's a little bit easier to hide from a bolt than it is a grenade, isn't it? Oh, this mid. Here we go.
Trying to get a couple of things. This is a lot of info, and then the Seekers came out from elbow. Just Jazzykins with one single ult has information on 4 players now. So look at the pivot coming out here for Complexity. Didn't have a TP set behind, so Jazzykins can really get away. So that's a little bit of a waste that time around.
Quickly into B. There is a bit of a retake wall that they can use here. Already placed. Oh, I don't know how much it'll help. They'll use it to get into the site here, but then it needs to be dropped.
Planted.
Unless they just dance around inside the pit. There's that reckoning coming out for SuperNova Galaxy. Faye running right in! Shorty!
Got hit!
It connects! She falls. And now it's a 3 versus 2. Make that an even tally on both ends. Seekers then coming out here.
One enemy remaining.
One towards the back of the site. Dancing around. No idea where Kara's at. A Complexity once again. Hold another post plant. A different story once again than from the first map.
It is so... From what we're seeing, it's so hard to defend the 1v1 at B now. Just so much cover. There's no more of a little bit of a stairway there on that side against the wall. Right? There's a few more boxes to jump up for the person playing on the outside. I feel like teams are going to be playing a lot towards that site now, knowing it kind of plays in favor if you have the spike planted. A lot of cover to be played around. 5-2 here as we get into round 8. A little rinse and repeat of last round. They condition the dimensional drift that way. Now it's just a clone. But Faye is gaining space. We might hop up here in just a second to see what they can figure out.
Nomos is looking like SNG are really committing towards this mid. Yeah, this is just the core here on Breeze. Nobody rotates there, right? Nobody rotates there.
The ego peak. I love it. Hallways just dismantled now. You can't even get through, but you're like, maybe a shot, maybe a shot. Again, you mentioned it before, Complexity not using the wall until they execute on site. Really don't want to give SNG any alert to what's going to happen in here. They are strewn across the map as Spike's going to go down on Crab for this plant.
Spike planted.
And once again, it's SNG taking mid control. But maybe is there a little bit too much overcooking with the mid control that they're currently taking here?
Oh.
Okay, maybe not this time around. Nice little battle won here by FaZe, against Raze. That could get very confusing too. Placed on the top of the boxes, though, the high-low on the top of bricks. And instantly the retake attempted by SuperNova from the double doors gets fully denied. Faye looking to do some more econ damage here. Fighting towards the A main. Vandal picked up. Vandal dropped as Jazzykins gets the timing. It allows Complexity to take the lead by 4.
Don't stop fighting.
Still only 3 away from Dimensional Drift again. Looks like Complexity starts to pull away on SNG's map. I think Complexity is just taking their space with brute force right now. Jazzikins doesn't really have to do anything too tricky. Still playing with the team pretty considerably, right? Like you said, more is that kind of initiator with the squat rather than a trickster trying to fake him out and come around as a lurk. So here we do see a gate crash going back. This is going to be a fake toward B.
Yeah. And that's the conditioning. Always giving up the wall when you're trying to hit the site. They put up the wall. They're putting a KO ult. They forced out Hunter's Fury out on the defense, but everybody's pivoting back towards the A site. So Princess Icy is up against the world. 3 players getting ready to push against her.
No wall up either for retake or defense at this point. They didn't set it up. And now they're pushed back. Easy plan on Crab. And they have just gotten themselves all throughout the site. 5 members now. This is where SNG could get an advantage last time on the retake. Can they do it again?
And giving up middle on that rotate. Jazz gets in a great position towards Orange.
Oh my gosh.
All of the players just falling. The op is still being heard towards Orange, getting hunted down. Trying not to let them save. And they'll at least be able to do so, as we can see here on that radar. But Complexity, once again, a plant and a successful post plant.
I do think Faye feels really comfortable with the op, but I wonder if it's giving Complexity something to play around. Something to identify each round and make it safety away from that op. Because there's not always, but normally going to be protection for Faye somewhere around. So you've almost identified 2 people when you identify that op. It being a Reyna for sure. Well, let's see where it goes this time. Looks like they'll try to play down A and get this shot right out the cave. But Complexity, I feel like they have the read on the map right now, Vansilli. It's much less, I wouldn't say aggressive than we saw on the first map, but it's calm in execution for sure. They have more control.
Yeah, I agree. Right now for SuperNova Galaxy, I would like to still say that they have a good read against Complexity right now, where look at these pushes, look at the pressure towards middle, and then once you realize the Complexity, the pushes is coming through like this, then they activate on the other side of the map. But that's where the anchors are not holding. So now, as Complexity are pivoting towards this B site, those 2 players, Princess Icy and Scary Shark, have to hold it down.
Flying in, good delay just on one side. Lace.
Wanted the first one, and Scary Shark's right there with the Guardian. Once again, headshot. Fragment being thrown towards the back of the site, but it's still Scary Shark basically clay pigeoning inside as Lace lands that shot, but then the 4K comes across with the classic.
Wowzer. Yeah, you have to swarm Complexity when their members have an op here, or it's gonna be bad news. 7-3. That was a big one. And I think one of the rounds now where we've seen SNG start off with the first blood. They've been playing down 4v5 quite a bit. There they finally were able to convert off that first frag and get the win. And 7-5 may be on the board once again for them. Dimensional Drift here for Jazzykins. It looks like they're going for the pistol round play.
Yeah,
they go right
wall.
for it.
It's a little bit late this time around because they want to use a Dimensional Drift. Finally, he comes up, trying to get the spray paint. 2 players in the back of the pyramids. There's a flash on the back behind Orange as the wall comes up, jumping on the top. There's just so much diversion being created, allowing the rest of Complexity to pinch out towards Shrimp. Actually, that's Crab, right, towards the wall.
Yes.
Seeker's now coming through. Player disadvantage for SuperNova, but Princess Icy has the timing into A main, but it immediately gets traded out. Ult coming through to get information. Ooh. And that's enough here to, once again, I mean, it's not just a Yoru trying to create a diversion. You still have an Omen that's able to do that too. They are getting swamped right now for SNG in these post plants.
That different wall is awesome too. Not only does it give Complexity more space to play around and figure out what Jazzykins is seeing, But you saw how easily Jazzikins was able to step back out of danger with that wall being placed later from mid. Really cool stuff that just kind of kept coming out of that round that you could see that Complexity used to their advantage. One more on this side. Could it be an 8-4 round? A few ultimates here for the side of SNG, and they're still facing this operator from Lace.
Gun was sticking out too. No wall bang this time around. What a play. I've seen that from Angel, like 2021, trying to cook things up with FPX before. It works out for that first kill, but gets instantly traded out. At least the info's there. Push out towards the elbow. Nice dismiss, but only at 5 HP. Gets hunted down by Raze. Back to a 3 versus 3. Wall is still available. It gets thrown right away towards B to sell the fake to pivot down towards A. But there's still an open area. Thankfully, Lace is there. Could actually smoke towards mid if they want to, or play the pick up towards Nest. And they'll up the ladder.
I think they were going to be able to creep into A here. Plant close right. Actually, do they go back still? No.
30 seconds left.
Yeah, they're not going to have time. They have to commit to this. It's all off of Lace. They're waiting for that shot to come out first, and then they run it.
There it is. On point, right on cue. 18
spawn
seconds left. Now the door opening is going to definitely give a position for one player away. Cascade coming out, so they know it's the harbor. Somehow does not connect, but at least Raze is there, and they know the last player is rotating here from the double doors. Raze with the snake bite in the kill. Complexity with 9 on the board on the attack as they switch sides.
I think that was a lot of identify, you know, where Faye was, move away from Faye, make sure we have control of the map, and execute. Complexity played that is bread and butter. Really nice all around, and they did not seem to be stressed in too many of the situations. Came into this ready, for sure. That was the Yoru strat with the deep wall was actually pretty cool. I wonder what else they might have. Now, defense side, though. We'll see what SNG brings to the table. I feel like they're a little more attack-oriented with Faye running in, the sonar bolts giving away their opponents, and this team swarming with walls. Let's see what happens. Mid is the play. 4-1 to start us off. They get met with a wall right away. Oh, Vans.
The first time somebody plays on the boxes on mid and it's not checked. Advantage for Complexity to flash. Everything's stuck by Sus Event. And they got sussed out. Only one more to go. Princess Icy trying to get the lurk towards the A main, so the double controller not allowing any type of space creation being done. The wall being used by the advantage of Complexity flashing through the high tide. And Princess Icy is under 3 versus 1.
Hey, man, that... Watch Princess Icy here against 3. It's going to be tough. Ooh! Okay. The possibility arose. But yeah, that play happened from Complexity, and the best way I could describe my reaction was I just had a stinky face on, man. I was just... it was just a rotten face. Like, oh my gosh.
Yeah, you can't do that.
You can't do that. Like you said, the first time someone peeks that spot in mid and everything just falls apart. They push mid. They read the play. I almost feel like everybody's trying A as the first thing and teams know it. So it's either you're going cave or you're fighting it in mid. I don't know. That was a massacre. Complexity now, second round. They're going to push mid again. Jazzikins by herself. A little clone work as they gain control of a bit of the map here, and they have a good look on what could happen towards center, top mid. Yeah.
All right, Nate ES from Kara with this Guardian as they're trying to create some noise here towards the A main. The SuperNova Galaxy just walked through that. So working that middle for the rest of the players on this map from the elbow side. Potentially trying to re-pinch up from elbow through the double doors where Jazzikins is currently waiting. Flash, the timing on the peak. Does get damaged a little bit here from a couple of Sheriffs. Akara's watching her back up towards the A main. Nice shot there onto Scary Shark. Sees the second one, body shot, Princess Icy falls. And this is looking pretty good, at least for now, until Faye pops 2 more of her own.
Love the over-the-shoulder peek flash. Here it goes again.
Last player standing.
Face trying to get behind.
Down A.
And then Claudia is playing close. She's like, hey, get the ace. Get the ace instead. Spikes down out in the open. Body shot coming through. 20 HP left.
Almost. So many
And now
bullets
that
to dodge.
window of opportunity is out. You have to fight it. You're not chasing for the ace anymore. You just want the round. 15 seconds left, and Carr will still get the ace in the end.
There it is. Jazzy got one. Kara got one. They are chalking them up right now. Complexity feeling good. It seems like they did underestimate a lot of what SNG brought to Lotus. We saw how close that game was played, and here Complexity seems to be finding their groove now. Really being able to hold down this defensive side of Breeze with getting quite a few rounds on attack to put this cushion in between them and SNG. Complexity, a little bit low on the purchases just because of how much they lost here as we get into this bonus. They should be okay, though.
Yeah. I mean, you're looking at a lineup here for Complexity that has had a lot of players that went through a duelist role in the past, or could do so and definitely fill that role. So to try to take them on Breeze so far is a nice little way of a little curveball. But this is a wake-up call for sure, as it doesn't seem like SuperNova Galaxy was as ready to see what Complexity was cooking up out here with the Yoru.
They are committing without the spike. So what's the real sell here is the question. 50 seconds, still pretty timid about making a commitment, but they found out a pretty good amount of information.
Toxin screen down.
This rotation is going to be hard either way. You're going to get Jazzykins at A. Well, I guess the gate crash just denied at B, so they're not going to have that rotation back over.
Yeah, and it seems to be red here by Complexity, with the exception of Lace. She's the only one playing at a forward position where she could TP away if there's too much pressure. No 0 point available here. Now here's the first Leer. Paranoia now looking to be thrown. A push coming this time around. A push forward as well from Kara, but couldn't get the kill with that Guardian. So Princess Icy saves Faye here. Running through, holding towards the back of the site. 10 seconds left on the clock. Faye still moving forward now, trying to spray across and loses to a Ghost. 5 seconds left on the clock. The plant finally comes down. But in the process, also losing players. Princess Icy and Marina have to try to clutch this on a 2 versus 3 as Complexity are inching towards the site. A 1-for-1 trade. Princess Icy on a solo hold. Poison Orb now looking to go up and down. Surprise! Flees for that first kill, almost getting the ace. As Claudia readjusts her aim and allows Complexity to win a bonus and go to Mapid Series point.
Down to the wire on that one, but it seems like they're in control throughout the round, even on the lower buy. We stated at the beginning of the round that was Complexity avoiding an ultimate from Faye. They probably should have clocked quite a few and just kept Faye healthy. So definitely dropping the ball in some places here for SNG. Breeze is not looking as clean as their Lotus, and Complexity is going to punish those mistakes. They always will. So coming up, like you said, series point here. They do have null command to shut down anything quick SNG might want to put on the table. And I think one of the things about SNG squad is it is... Oh. Quick fight mid. Incredibly full team reliant.
Yeah.
Woo! That's one of the things you got to rely on. But they don't have the Yoru to make the play and identify in dimensional drift or kind of get KO to give them more info.
Yeah.
Everything has to happen as a team.
And this is just mistakes coming out from Complexity, over peaking on certain areas. Losing a player on mid, hey, let's try to activate on one side. Okay, lost B, let's try to activate on the other end.
Oh.
And for the last 2 players, though, they're salvaging the round. Kara with another kill, leaving now Princess Icy solo with a spike down out in the open towards mid castle. 48 seconds left on the clock. A heal coming up too. Princess Icy has 2 snake bites to work with. She will now be heard as she's running up towards that mid. A drive-by out from Kara. Whew. And a final nail for Complexity to win this series with the second map 13-3.
Yeah, really strong coming out of Complexity on that. it's exactly the statement they kind of need to make as well. Having the first game they did, SNG showed the power they had, and Complexity said, okay, maybe we need to show a little bit more of what we have in the tank. So Jazzykins coming out with a bit more of a growl on the Jazz, and yeah, things were turned up a little bit there, and Breeze looked really good for Complexity.
Yeah. Well, let's take a chance here to bring back Sierra on the desk as well, as we'll close this off, at least on that second map, to see how good Complexity was here on that second map. I didn't really see too much going out here from what SNG was trying to cook with the double controller. It was just a lot of these aim fights that really came in favor of Complexity on these post plants.
I feel like this was a very needed map from Complexity after the way of the first one. I mean, Lotus, we'll give all the credit in the world to SuperNova for pushing them, but Complexity is this team that, coming into this event, they just came off the second place last Valorant Game Changers. This was the performance I wanted to see coming out on Breeze. Got to see Jazzy's debut over on the Euro. That didn't disappoint either, Riv.
Hey, no. I did not expect that to happen, and Jazzy was doing work. It definitely looked like it wasn't outside of her wheelhouse at all. We know Jazzy for being able to play that, but it definitely looked like the rest of the team was having fun around it, being able to use its utility and do what they could. It definitely outmatched what SNG was able to bring to the table there.
Yeah, to piggyback on that as well, we were afraid of what was going to happen with the Euro. Is it just going to be too simple with, hey, it's difficult for us to take the A side because there's only one entrance? Or should we just do the regular Viper Wall and TP back towards Crab and then try to fight from there with the flashes? And that was not the telegraph play. There was a lot of mid-control around Complexity's play at the beginning of the rounds, at the beginning of the seconds, to really add more pressure from that Euro on that side. And the TPs are used for the actual hits on splits. And I love that. I loved what I saw from Complexity there. The B site hits were also very good. Again, those TPs to avoid the snake bites and the poison orb create a lot of diversion towards the back of the site, forcing players out of their position, away from ladder, away from the cubby, to try to fight Jazzykins, and that gives the window of opportunity for Complexity to get in. So just a nice little, I mean, Jazzykin was almost like a trailblazer herself getting into these sites to allow the rest of the team to follow behind. Very true.
So it was so good coming up for Complexity. Even if this wasn't their map pick in the end, how they're playing it and the angles they're holding and the shots they were hitting, it looked so well practiced. So you have to give them so much kudos for that. So with that win too, that 2-0 in general, that is going to be them qualifying to our next stage of competition. Of course, SuperNova Galaxy isn't out of it. They'll have another chance to be qualifying in. But for Complexity, Riv, the team that they need to be making that deep run into the tournament for their points, this is definitely that good first step.
It is a really good first step. There was a chance that, you know, SNG comes out and plays that composition in a scary way, right? The composition they brought had to be played in a way that made you afraid of it. And Complexity isn't getting tricked by any of that right now. They're coming in. They know the game plan they need. And we actually saw after their timeouts, there was some serious strategy change to how they could turn a map around. So they still have all the things to make it work, and we're seeing it here in the early part of the tournament.
I just wanted to add, was it really a good first step, though? They almost tripped on that first map, right? On that first step against their map pick. So this should have been something that should have been scaled up easily for Complexity, and SuperNova Galaxy really made a run for their money, especially, again, it's a roster that is brand new, with only 2 players remaining from the last time they played together against Complexity. They still brought it to a 5 OT against Complexity. So
that's true.
Maybe it took, again, you're shaking off the cobwebs to start things off in GC, but you're in a LAN environment as well at boot camp with the Complexity, with the supporting staff that you have behind there. You have to be on point moving forward here because it is do or die no matter what to try to make it to Brazil. There's no like, oh, we almost made it. It's if you lose, you're out and it's over.
It's not about the fall, though. It's how you get back up. They just tripped over the curve.
At least it didn't fall. At least it didn't fall. It's like they tripped and then they like held on to it, you know? So it's like
they did it with the shoelaces tied.
Exactly.
Yeah. They tripped, they got back up, they ran, and they're qualified. So hey, as long as everybody gets their one, right? Everyone gets their one. So
and they did on the second map for sure.
Yeah. They recovered. They're doing good. So we'll have a chance to be talking to the team about the series in a little bit. Of course, we're going to have our Prime Gaming post-match highlights, so we'll be back soon.
So all I wanna see really is a round of applause from them. Vibes in the air, we cause it again. Life isn't fair, but we rolled it again. All of my teams being ready for the war, there's no warning for them. Tell them again, I ain't here to make no friends. One can prove it again. Top of the town, yeah, again. Count not again. Really count not losing. They know I'm gonna win that again. Tell them again. Tell them again. Tell them again, I ain't here to make up no friends. I just came through yet again. We know you never got one of them. Top of the pile yet again. They can't stop this shout now again. Reigning champ, I won't lose it. So you know I'm gonna win that again. Tell them 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 again.
Well, after a really fun series, an amazing first map to be starting it out, we have a Verizon post-match interview, and we have IGL Jazzykins on the line. First off, congratulations. That's the first step of Game Changers 3 done with. You're qualified. It's just the first step, but how are you feeling coming off of that 2-map series?
First map was a little bit shaky, I'm not gonna lie. They definitely like had us on our toes. Man, they were taking shots too, so props to them.
So what was it then about the first map? Was it just a couple cobwebs? Were they playing in a really unexpected way? Because that was 5 rounds of overtime to kick things out.
Yeah, I feel like we were just doing our like we were just playing our own game, and I think in the beginning on T side, like identifying their setups were pretty hard because like they were obviously switching it up, and like they obviously had like trap plays as well. So I think just identifying that and like being quicker on that would help us moving forward.
Makes sense. At least going on into the second map, you all managed to wrap that one up pretty quickly on Breeze, and we got to see a fun look coming out from you debuting this Yoru pick. So how are you feeling picking up this duelist?
It's pretty fun. I'm still trying to get used to Yoru. There's a couple misclicks when I TP in the open sometimes, or TP on accident. But yeah.
It happens. It's just Euro things. But
yeah.
Then with your role as IGL, I'm curious then if you find it difficult at all when you are playing an agent like Euro, because you get to have some quite individual plays. You're kind of off doing your own thing. You find it a little bit difficult sometimes, or is it still pretty easy manage both?
I think one thing that helps a lot when I'm on Yoru, like my entire team steps up and calls like what we should do in the moment or in the next round, and my team is a big help with that. So
team effort, love to see that. Now for the team 2, for Valor Game Changers 3, you're one of the top 3 squads in terms of the amount of points, and of course you're looking to get that second place spot to be able to qualify for the championships in Brazil. Do you feel like there's any added pressure considering that you're one of the teams that is actually so close to getting that spot?
I do want to say there's pressure, but maybe I put more pressure on myself because obviously I really do want to qualify, and I think we got in the bag without a doubt.
Definitely excited to see Complexity run through this event. So congratulations on qualifying through this first step, Jazzy. Do you have any final words for anyone watching? Anything that we can expect from you going on forward?
I just want to say thank you to the fans supporting. It really does mean a lot. So road to Brazil.
Let's see it. It is time. Congratulations once again. Have a good rest of your night, okay?
Thank you. Have a great night.
Thank you. For us, we're wrapping up our night and bringing back our casters to the desk. I mean, I'm glad that we got to see that first map that went the distance of...
That was fast.
...a million maps because, hey, we're not going to get a map 3 in this one. Complexity, they'll wrap it up in 2 Riv.
Did we have, I got to go back and check. I know we didn't today, but I wonder if there were any 3s or teams are just getting in. They wanted to get there and they felt hungry for the wins. Because we had some pretty good games back and forth, so I can't wait to check the rest of the scores. But yeah, Complexity definitely showing strong. Have to see what all the other teams did, but I'm sure it's going to get even more interesting from here on out. I mean, we already got 5 OTs day one. This is going to be good.
I also love the Jazzican's interview of like, you know, they had us in the first half kind of thing, and then just like, you know, we'll just set that up after. It's just another Tuesday, pretty much, on how we worked them out on Breeze. So
I was misclicking. We still won.
Yeah, exactly. My
Okay.
team's got my back, and that's what we saw basically on that second map. So it made all sense what she was saying as well. And to see that confidence that they have that drive still to want to go to Brazil, that's what I'm even looking at chat. Coach Joe Sloth, everybody's in the chat. Hey, see you in Brazil. So it looks like everybody's ready. The whole gang's looking forward to at least make it into the top 8 and show what they're made of.
I'm so excited for that. But we have to go back a little bit in the series that we just saw and have our Aim Lab flick of the day. This one was coming out from Jazzykins, actually, and I'm assuming that it's going to be coming from this absolute crazy map. Yeah, you said that there was a bunch of different flicks that it could have been. I'm not surprised to see that it was grabbed by Jazzy in the end.
Yeah, and this is what I like too. It's not like the type of conventional positional opping that you usually see from a certain player. It's just Jazzykins trying to go for the swing when she wants to, getting those picks. Sorry, my eye, I think something's itching my eyes, so I'm just crying as I'm talking. But she gets the perfect position on those picks, being aggressive, and also catching their players off guard, right? To go back and swing that against that pick.
I agree with you, Vance.
Dude.
I agree.
Those shots are so beautiful, it brings tears to my eyes,
Oh
man.
my god.
Oh man.
So good, but hey, we'll let you go fix your eye, and we'll wrap this one up pretty quick because we're still gonna have so much Valorant game changers ahead of us. Thank you so much, everyone, for tuning in. Make sure to be coming back tomorrow as we're in the business of qualifying some more teams into our mix. So thanks, everyone. Once again, we'll see you all tomorrow. Have a great night.
Good night.